Tell your father I'm here. Tell him the Lannisters aren't the only ones who pay their debts.
Oberyn Martell said this to Tyrion Lannister in Season 4, Episode 1. Not to Tywin, to Tyrion. He could have sent a raven. He could have waited for a formal audience. Instead, he said it to the second son, out loud in a street outside. That choice is the point. Everything about this scene, how Oberyn arrives in King's Landing, where Tyrion finds him, what he does before Tyrion gets there, and exactly how he delivers that final line, is a demonstration of power so precise and so deliberate that it works as a message to Tywin, a warning to the realm, and a masterclass in psychological warfare, all at once. Let's examine exactly what this scene reveals about Oberyn's true power, and why Tyrion, one of the shrewdest men in Westeros, walks away from it genuinely shaken. The entrance. He doesn't come to court start. With how Oberyn arrives in King's Landing, Prince Oberyn of Dorne was invited to Joffrey's royal wedding. He stayed home. He sent his younger brother instead. Already, this is an insult the Lannisters cannot officially acknowledge. Tyrion is dispatched outside the city gates to receive the Dornish party. He gets there to find that Oberyn isn't even with the party. He rode ahead, separately, without announcement. And where did he go? Not the Red Keep, not a noble house. He was in Littlefinger's brothel. This is not carelessness. This is a statement. Oberyn is telling the Lannisters, before he has spoken a single word to any of them, that he does not recognize the rules of their court. He is not here to pay respects. He is not here to perform loyalty. He arrived early, alone, and went directly to the most undignified address in King's Landing. The message, I am not your guest. I am a problem you haven't solved yet. The walk. Oberyn chooses when to talk. Outside, the two men are finally alone, and Oberyn takes complete control of the conversation from the first breath. He sets the terms immediately. I thought we were speaking truth. Tyrion had offered a diplomatic line about the king being grateful for Oberyn's attendance at the wedding. Oberyn cuts it off. No pleasantries. No performance. We're past that. Then, without waiting for Tyrion to respond, he begins. The last time he was in the capital, another wedding. His sister Elia and Rhaegar Targaryen, the last dragon. He describes her with extraordinary specificity. She loved him, bore his children, swaddled them, rocked them, fed them at her own breast. Rhaegar wouldn't let the wet nurse touch them. This detail matters. Oberyn is not summarizing. He is making Tyrion see these children as real people, named, held, fed by their mother, not statistics in a war, babies. His family. Then Rhaegar left. War came. Robert won. And Tywin's army sacked King's Landing. Wasn't it actually? Tyrion tries to interrupt. Oberyn doesn't let him finish. They butchered those children, my nephew and niece, carved them up and wrapped them in Lannister cloaks. And then he stops. He looks at Tyrion, and he asks the question that changes the entire dynamic of the scene. And, my sister. You know what they did to her? Tyrion has been staring at the ground for some time. He knows what happened to Elia. Everyone in Westeros knows. And Oberyn lifts Tyrion's chin with a finger, forces him to make eye contact. I'm asking you a question. The chin, the most important gesture in the scene. This is the moment the scene turns. Tyrion Lannister is the son of the man Oberyn holds responsible for his sister's murder. He is a Lannister, in Lannister territory, surrounded by Lannister guards. He outranks Oberyn in the official hierarchy of the moment. He was sent to formally welcome this man as a representative of the crown. And Oberyn Martell reaches out and lifts his chin, like a parent correcting a child. This is not aggression. It's not a threat. It is something more unsettling than either of those things. It is complete disregard for the power structure Tyrion represents. Oberyn is not intimidated by Tyrion's name, his title, his guards, or his family's reputation. He treats Tyrion not as the son of the most powerful man in Westeros, but as a person who needs to look at him when he's being spoken to. Tyrion, who handles almost every social situation with wit and control, has no response to this. He can't mock it away. He can't redirect it. He just looks up and answers the question. I've heard rumors. It's the most honest thing Tyrion could say. He wasn't there. He doesn't know the details. But he knows the rumors. Everyone does. And Oberyn says them out loud, because Oberyn will not let this stay in the category of rumor. The one I keep hearing is that Gregor Clegane, the Mountain, raped Elia and split her in half with his great sword. He says it plainly. No rage, no trembling. Just a sentence that should not be spoken in the middle of King's Landing. Spoken clearly, to a Lannister, in the open. The accusation, naming Tywin directly. Tyrion tries to distance himself. I wasn't there. I don't know what. Oberyn cuts him off again. Not with anger, with logic. If the mountain killed my sister, your father gave the order. This is the line that lands like a stone in still water. Oberyn is not accusing Gregor Clegane in front of Tyrion. He already knows about Gregor Clegane. Everyone does. The mountain is the instrument. Oberyn is naming the hand that held the instrument. Tywin Lannister, Lord of Casterly Rock, Hand of the King, the most powerful man in the Seven Kingdoms. And he is saying it to Tywin's son, out loud, in public. This is a calculated act of psychological warfare. Oberyn knows Tyrion will repeat this conversation to Tywin. He knows Tywin will hear exactly what was said. He is not delivering a message in private diplomatic channels. He is putting it on record, through Tyrion, so there is no ambiguity about why he is in King's Landing and what he intends. Tyrion understands all of this in real time. He is watching a man publicly accuse his father of ordering the rape and murder of a princess inside his father's city, days before his father's grandson's wedding, and doing it with such composure that there is no way to respond without either confirming it or starting a war. So Tyrion says nothing. The message, why he tells Tyrion and not Tywin, and then, the final line. Tell your father I'm here, and tell him the Lannisters aren't the only ones who pay their debts. He could have gone to Tywin directly. He's in the same city. He will meet Tywin within days. He could have delivered this message himself, face to face, in the Red Keep. He doesn't. He gives it to Tyrion. Why? Because delivering a message through a son is itself a power move. It says, I don't need a formal audience with you. I don't need to stand in your hall and be received as a supplicant. You will hear from me through your own family, in your own house, before we ever officially meet. It also inverts the Lannister house motto in a way that is so precise it couldn't be accidental. A Lannister always pays his debts is the unofficial creed of the most powerful family in Westeros, a promise of reward for loyalty and punishment for defiance. Oberyn takes that language, that exact construction, and turns it back. The Lannisters aren't the only ones who pay their debts. He is not threatening violence. He is announcing equivalence. He is saying, your family's rules apply to mine too. You owe a debt, and I collect. Tyrion hears this, and knows exactly what it means. Oberyn didn't come to King's Landing for the wedding. He came for Tywin. And everyone in that city is now in the middle of whatever comes next. The power. What makes Oberyn dangerous? This scene introduces Oberyn to the audience, and it does something most Game of Thrones introductions don't. It shows all dimensions of a character's power in a single sequence. Physical power. He stabs a Lannister soldier with surgical precision without breaking composure. He is not a brawler. He is a weapon. Psychological power. He lifts Tyrion's chin. He forces eye contact. He names the unnameable out loud. He delivers a message through the wrong person on purpose. Every choice in the conversation is deliberate and dominant. Political power. He arrives ahead of schedule, stays in a brothel instead of the Red Keep, and skips the formal reception, all without giving Tywin a single official reason to object. He operates just outside the boundaries of what can be protested. Moral power. He is not wrong. The mountain did kill Elia's children. Gregor Clegane almost certainly did rape and murder her, and Tywin almost certainly did give the order. Oberyn's cause is just, and everyone he speaks to knows it is just, which means no one, not Tyrion, not Tywin, not the court, can dismiss him as a liar or madman. Most dangerous men in Westeros have one or two of these. Tywin has political and psychological power. Gregor Clegane has physical power. Littlefinger has psychological and political power. Oberyn has all four. And the scene with Tyrion is the first time the audience, and Tyrion, fully understands that. The final truth. Tell your father I'm here, and tell him the Lannisters aren't the only ones who pay their debts. Oberyn Martell said this to Tyrion Lannister in Season 4, Episode 1. He didn't need to. He could have delivered his message through any number of quieter, safer, more conventional channels. He chose this channel, a second son, outside a brothel, after pinning a soldier to a table, because the delivery was the message. Every detail of this scene is a demonstration. He arrives without ceremony, He stays somewhere undignified. He responds to a Lannister song with a blade. He makes a hand of the king's son look at him before he answers. He names Tywin directly. He walks away. No one in King's Landing does any of these things, because no one in King's Landing can afford to. Everyone else is operating inside the Lannister power structure, navigating it, negotiating with it, trying to survive within it. Oberyn operates outside it, and this scene is him showing Tyrion, and through Tyrion, Tywin, exactly what that looks like. Tyrion is one of the most perceptive characters in the series. He reads people for a living. He has survived Joffrey, Cersei, Tywin, and the entire small council through intelligence and observation. He walks away from this conversation and tells Tywin immediately. Not because he was ordered to, because for the first time in a long time, Tyrion Lannister met someone he was genuinely not sure his father could handle, and Oberyn knew it. That was the point.